Gerry Dyble, Executive Director for Hope and Area Transition Society. I was part of the initiative through the Community Action Initiative to bring forth the HOPE Project. HOPE Project stands for Helping Others Pursue Excellence. This was a funding opportunity that came about in 2013. And as a result of this funding, this project really had to look at collaboration within the community and our partner agencies. And I do have with me today who were part of the preliminary and were primary partners in this initiative, a panel of individuals, and I will let them introduce themselves.
Rosemary Fabian, Team Leader for Mental Health for Agassiz Hope in Boston Bar.
Karen Scalise, CEO of Freeman Associates.
I'm Jody McBride, the Executive Director of Read Write Society.
I'm Paul Keller, the Homeless Program Coordinator, and I also operate a housing project within the community of Hope that supports chronic homelessness.
HOPE Project was designed for those individuals who suffer with mental health and addictions in our community to feel socially included within the community so that they're not being excluded, they're not isolating in their home environment, and that it's opportunity for them to come out into the community. That was the initial background behind the community action funds, and as a result, we partnered together with our community partners, and I just want to ask them a little bit about really how did they become involved with our agency through this process. Rosemary, how did that happen for mental health?
Well, you contacted me. That was the first step, and you asked me to partner in this and to form a collaboration. I was very interested in the project because as much as we service people with mental health issues, chronic and persistent mental health issues, the time between their appointments is empty. And this idea of socially including them and having a place for them to go and having extra supports was very exciting for me.
We have done probably over 16 years of life skills training with CETs and AJSs with the ministry too. So it was a great collaboration, and I think it's a great idea.
Read Write is a literacy society in the community. So Jody, how did you become involved?
I guess initially I was approached during the proposal process of putting that together and writing it. But then once the project was actually implemented as a service provider, so to speak, of helping the clients address their literacy needs so that they can better address their mental health and their substance abuse and building on those life skills. It started with simple things like making storyboards and collages that tell a story, and it has gradually worked its way up to where now we're doing, we've done book clubs and on a weekly basis, and literacy-related games like Scrabble and group crossword puzzles, just trying to encourage the clients and do activities where they're having fun and learning without realizing it and having a good time together and just building up their confidence. And it was an easy way for us to just come in and also make sure we're reaching that demographic.
The drop-in our community is something very much needed. In the past, prior to this program, we had clients on the street in the winter or in the rain, or just clients on the street on any day. And again, they loiter out there in their space and in their time, and it's not healthy time. They're not interacting with those that can help them or support them. So the HOPE Project was a very key place for our clients to come, maybe kind of a gateway to accessing housing, accessing supports within our community. So without a type of drop-in such as this, our clients are left on their own, walking the streets, talking to various people to see where their supports can get. And it's a nice warm place to come. That was wonderful too for them to come and relax and be within the center of the community, which is important to them.
So for mental health, was it easy for you to collaborate in this project?
Yes.
To be part of this project?
It was easy.
Right. What about free reign? Was it easy for free reign to say this was a good
just
partnership?
because of what we did in the past years, working with the life skills training, doing CETs and AJSs. We have done a lot of community employment training programs in the H.O.P.E. and also assisted job searches. And this is kind of what we're doing here at the H.O.P.E project. Earlier on, when there was no H.O.P.E project here, we had a lot of the clientele sitting in chairs and stuff like that, because technically we had a hard time relating to them because we haven't got anybody on the ground that's obviously trained to work with the clientele at the H.O.P.E project. So since this has come into place, it's been so viable for us to be able to help them move on to over here and get them coffee and get them into programming that can help them. And then we're also there when they do need help to have employment training. We are there to help them at that.
When people think of literacy, they think of, oh, sure, we're going to help kids learn to read, or we're going to help parents with their kids, but they forget that literacy affects all demographics. People with substance abuse issues and homelessness, all of those things, concurrent disorders, and oftentimes literacy is blurred as one of those disorders when it's really not. It's just lack of that particular skill. So it seemed like a natural fit to me that if we can help these clients address their literacy skills, then hopefully they'll better be able to address their other issues and concerns that are going on in their life.
From a mental health perspective and from my team, one of the things that we found most successful about this project was that we had access to a monthly calendar. And on the calendar it had events that happened down here. So the calendar is always in our waiting room. So clients who come in for their appointments, they see the calendar. Case managers have the calendar in all their offices. And when we're working with our clients, very often we will take the calendar and say, well, let's look at your care plan. This is your treatment plan, this is your care plan, and perhaps you'd like to access, this. This is, a great movie being shown, or a craft being done, or some workshop that's being offered. And it has certainly helped our agency tremendously, so that we have a place to send people in between their appointments and to support the work that they do, because we do very much the mental health aspect of it. So how do you manage your anxiety? How do you manage your depression, and so forth and so on? But the H.O.P.E project allows us to take a much more holistic approach. So a full wellness care plan treatment for them.
Is there anything you would do differently?
Dedicate more time.
More time,
yeah. It would be very nice to have the ability to perhaps have some workshops in here.
I initially came here to come to a place where was safe from drugs and alcohol. It was a safe environment to go to that offered programs like counseling programs, groups. Well, I learned how to sew, right? One of the programs. We went bowling. Nobody believed me, but it's the first time I ever bowled in my life. People were horrified at that, and I'm thinking, well, I didn't bowl. So I bowled, right? And it's taking yourself out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And this has been really, really fantastic. And I see miracles every day happening here through people. And I think because people aren't isolating, and we're sort of all coming at a place where initially for the social part of it, but I think it works into something greater for myself.
What activities stand out to you that you've participated in here?
Myself, I sew.
Yeah.
I learned with one of the ladies that came in to graciously give her time. I had never, needle and thread, okay, fine. But when she let me loose on a sewing machine, good Lord Almighty, yeah. I was walking around like I was the biggest hen in the hen house. And I had never tried. I didn't want to even try. But because of who was here and who the person was facilitating it, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I did. I made the most awesome wall quilt. But anyway, that's why, yes, the programs here are wonderful, and that's the first one I did, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We sew.
Yeah, Laura, you were part of the sewing as well, but was that one that stood out to you?
It's hilarious to me, because of people that knew me 3 years ago say, "Hey, you're gonna join a group and you're gonna start sewing." I'd be like, oh, not a chance, right? I didn't even do the needle and thread that you're talking about. Sewing was not my thing, but it was fun.
What other services in the community have you utilized as a result of this program?
Okay, well, for me, I came here first, and then after a while, I was getting brave and wanted to apply for a job. So then I was let know that next door at Free Rein, they would set you up with a case manager, and they would help you do the dreaded resume. So I was able to get a resume done from there, and then I was introduced to the availability of an alcohol and drug counselor, and then the read and write program, and I'm brave enough to start school. I start 10 minutes ago.
Yay, good for you.
So yeah, I'm getting my Dogwood diploma. So
From the university campus
from the
here.
university campus here, yeah. So
Like Alice as well, it's like it's gone full circle, right? I mean, I came here through Jan, through counseling, and then the programs, it's like the sewing was one, and getting out and exercising again. I mean, for me, I've taken that, now I have a personal trainer. I like the fact that everything is in one area. So if you want to look for a job, you go next door and they'll help you there. If you want to have literacy, addressed, you go upstairs and talk to Larissa. You give out rec passes here. So through that, a person can then take that further and, start walking with themselves, like going to the park. And we have our calendar every month, which I think is very, very, very useful. And you can plan your whole month by the different groups that are happening, right? Yeah. I mean, all these things are so beneficial, and you don't know you need them until they're put in front of you. And then you're like, how did I live without them? Yes. So I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
So when mentoring another community, I think that relationship is critical. So having that relationship to say, you know what, we need you at the table. How can we make this work so that you can be at the table? Trying to get everybody to come together is challenging, but there's so much more value in making sure that people are coming together, hearing what it is that we're working towards. We can't do what we want to do when we're looking at social issues by ourselves. So we need to look at our other community agencies to help us, even though the community agency that we're looking to partner with might not necessarily do the same type of work that we do. Our clients are similar in nature. We spoke to, Read Write Society this morning, who does literacy. And you would think that those two worlds, the worlds that I work in and the world that literacy works in, are two separate worlds, but they're not, because many of our clients are in situations that they're in because they don't have the literacy skills. Funders want to see that you're collaborating. And it's important that, there's such scarce resource dollars that, not everybody can get all the funding dollars that they need. So we do have to partner together to say that, this issue is an issue, whatever the issue is, whether it's homelessness, addictions, domestic violence, and working together to make sure that, we're addressing those needs in the community. So Jody, what's your advice for another community looking at a partnership or collaboration process? What's important?
I think I would say leave your preconceived ideas at the door and listen, because we are all coming from different backgrounds and different organizations with our own mandates that may not be the same at all as whoever else is sitting around the table, but we are working towards that common goal. So if we can leave those preconceived ideas at the door when you come in and just listen and know that you're all trying to be on the same page and work towards the same goal, that makes a huge difference.
I think from our agency's perspective, Hope and Area Transition Society, I think what we have as our advantage in the community, being a rural community of a population of 5,900, we have relationship with our partner agencies. So if I knew that there was a concern or there was a question, I could phone up mental health and talk to Rosemary, or I could talk to Karen about what was going on with the partnership in regards to Free Rein or Work BC. So I think that that's our advantage in rural communities and in smaller communities is partnerships. Partnerships are always challenging. However, we have relationship, and I think that was key. And we built relationship, we fostered that in the project itself when it came to having clients at the table, hearing their voice, seeing them as valued individuals and knowing that, we value collaboration and partnership because we knew we could do more in the community having a partnership as opposed to doing it alone. Mm-hmm. That's what I see from our agency's perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I could add up to that. Part of it is when you're working with other agencies, feeling like you can be honest without the other partners judging you or not liking what you say. And even if they don't like what you say, to be like, okay, well, I don't like that, but let's talk about it. And then come to some sort of an understanding and move on. And I think the organizations involved with the H.O.P.E project, that was very well structured. And it felt like a safe place, not only for the clients and the clients who were coming to the stakeholder meetings, but also for the stakeholders to say, no, actually, I don't like that. I don't think that's going to work. I don't want to be a part of this certain thing or that. And then having that discussion around it and being able to move on and everybody is happy.
I think it's about commitment, collaboration. For the folks who came to the table as partners, we felt that there was definitely a need and a desire to work together. We have more similarities than we do differences, so just coming to the table to say how can we make sure that we're working to make this community the best that we can for everybody.